Laws USA. Yeah. This is Car Bros Podcast, episode 22.
Double deuce.
Damn. Big 22.
Did we say that on the last one?
No, we didn't.
I did. No, I stepped in.
Oh, you did?
You
said the big 2-1. Okay.
Yeah, we can't let
Thank
it.
you. Yeah.
Welcome to the big 2-2.
Welcome back. Thank you for being here. Special thanks to our patrons. We love you. If you're not a patron, you're dead to us. Just a quick update. On the last podcast, John suspected
Talked out of my butt.
if you drive double the speed limit,
It could be considered manslaughter.
And we suspected that was fucking stupid.
Yes.
After
We consulted our lawyer.
Confirmed it is fucking after a couple $1,000 in legal fees, we confirmed.
we had several lawyers on retainer. We called them up. Turns out it's just
If you go over 100 miles an hour, it could be a felony, though, in some states.
okay.
Didn't John also say something about attempted manslaughter?
I think I tried to. I
think
tried to backpedal.
Tried to walk that one back.
Tried to sound smart.
I was convicted of attempted manslaughter.
Well,
Look, I watch a lot of Law and Order.
you learn a lot on this podcast. Okay. In no particular order, a couple weeks ago, we were at Button Willow.
Yes.
And I noticed a phenomenon called the Scion FRS looks weak as hell.
Yes,
This is a little theory I've been working on.
on a track.
Thesis.
On the track. Those cars are, I mean, I guess we could just have a discussion about those cars.
Yeah.
You've owned one.
Yes,
right?
I did.
Karen has owned a FRS.
Yes.
Right? 2015 maybe.
They lost me when it stopped being a Scion.
Yeah,
I couldn't stand on
abandoned
board.
ship,
Yeah.
diehard Scion
Once they
fan.
abandoned their youthful image, I was out.
Is it a cool car?
I think so.
Yeah, I think it's a cool car.
That's the car that I am going to like in like 20 years. I'm glad they make it. I don't really want to own it new, but they're going to be like red hot in 20 years.
I think so.
It'll be the new 240s.
Yeah, because that chassis is wonderful.
Yeah.
They did a great job with the car. It's just like, would you pay 25 or 30 grand for that thing?
You have to be like pretty committed to a very like it's essentially a Miata, really. It's,
Yeah.
non-convertible Miata.
Yeah.
I like the idea of, I'm not going to do this, but I like the idea of a version of me in an alternate universe where I buy one of those and own it for a long time.
Yeah.
Because that'd be a really cool car to, those people where it's like original owner
Right.
and some like sports car from the 80s or something. It's like, that'd be a great car to do that too. Because it's probably going to be pretty reliable. It's just a wonderfully balanced, like whatever, great thing. They are neat cars. The majority of the ones I see are modified and like pretty poorly. It's like, it's got a little bit of, it's kind of the same story of Hondas.
Yeah.
Where it's like, they're great cars. They're lovely cars, but they're not fast. And people get them and want them to be fast. And so
Because they look fast.
they for whatever reason
They have like a speedy image.
Right.
yeah, they want it to be fast. And so they do speed mods to it.
Right.
But it's like that car is just never going to be fast
Right.
unless you do something extreme. And so it's like intake and exhaust and whatever mods. Like you're spending thousands of your hard-earned dollars at Little Caesars or like wherever you work to get like 16 horsepower or something to drive a car that just isn't meant to be fast. That's not what it's meant for. And so most of the ones I see are kind of that like genre where it's like, dude, don't mod.
I put a cat bag on it.
Yeah. I like those cars, but I don't love them. Glad they exist. I'm not going to buy one. I may someday, not for another decade. But something about those things on a track look kind of weak. I was like watching some cars go by, and I think if a car,
well, they don't sound particularly good.
They don't sound good. They're not an impressive. They don't have an impressive like presence.
Right.
Your car needs to be a certain size, I think, to be impressive.
At a full-size track, yeah.
Maybe.
What you're just talking about, like visual impact.
Yeah, it's like there's something about a bigger car.
Like you don't see him. You don't see him.
Cool.
You don't really see like a Miata going around. It's like, damn.
Yeah.
Like,
whoa,
look at that.
Go.
Yeah.
Yeah. But like a bigger car just kind of looks better in a lot of situations. Like, I don't know. It's not very scientific. Just made me realize like that is a car that's supposed to just come alive at the track. And I'm sure it does. I'm sure it's fun to drive.
Sure.
I've driven one in a track
Well,
setting.
it makes a lot of noise, but it doesn't go very fast in a straight line.
Well,
so.
it's a momentum car.
Yeah.
I don't
Right.
know. I don't
It's
know.
supposed to be like for the fun of the driver.
Yeah.
But the thing that I don't like is that they essentially came out like, I remember like following that thing for years, like before it even came, like everyone was like,
Yeah.
it was like a prototype
concept,
and like,
yeah.
the concept and like, oh man, this is going to be awesome.
Yeah.
And then the car came out, I think it was like 2012 or something.
Yeah.
They went on sale. I'm like, they essentially haven't changed a lick since that. Like they're like, which is kind of that's the part that I don't like. Like here it is, like that. That's it. Like,
Yeah.
Is it? Is what you get?
Like, are they gonna like?
The best is like Subaru, or I don't know if you know if it is Subaru, but they keep teasing like the STI BRZ.
Oh, and it's always just like
That'd be lame though. I don't
stiffer
know.
spring.
Yeah, it's not a turbo on the motor. It's like doesn't make any more power.
Yeah, like that. Do you think that car should be scheduled to be just like phased out soon?
Yeah.
Or updated, yeah.
Yeah, or like a new, either a new one or
Overhaul,
get rid of
yeah.
it.
I think the Supra is going to be a better FRS,
Yeah, but
personally.
yeah.
So, but when this podcast airs, the Supra will be making its world debut.
Oh, that's right.
In about 4 or 5 days. I
Detroit,
think.
yeah,
4 or
something
5
like
days
that.
from the air date.
Unless it's probably been leaked in Jalopnik because already. Oh, here's before you're supposed to see it. Yeah.
Yeah. But I think that I truly think that car is going to be good. I think it's gonna
We've gone into this.
Yeah.
But I honestly don't know what to think about that car because I don't know how much it's going to be.
Yeah.
And no one seems to really know how much it's going to be.
No, as they shouldn't. There shouldn't be any info about it.
But it's so weird. I don't know.
I have high hopes.
I don't. But I'm going to go in with low expectations and
Yeah.
hope to be
Hope
impressed.
to be surprised. Okay, well, I don't think we learned anything from it.
No.
FRS, if you own one,
I would just
cool.
say Toyota Scion or Toyota Subaru do something with,
Right.
like, get off the pot.
But they're fine. They're fine. They're fine.
Yeah.
They're fine as is. I think people wanted it to be more. I think that's what it is.
Yeah.
It's like they just came out with this great little car that is what it is. And people
Sure.
are like, why isn't it 300 horsepower? It's
Right.
like, not that. So
Yeah.
I'm trying to make it that. It's like, but enjoy it for what it is.
Yeah, but I do think what you said is when those are like cheap enough to just become like backyard projects, it's going to be like the perfect
That is like
platform. I mean, people already have done like V8s and
totally.
this
Yeah.
and that, but
when the starting point costs like $5
when
grand,
you can do that on like an everyman's
that's gonna be
budget.
that's gonna be sweet. V8s and stuff into that thing.
Yeah.
Because an LS1 in that, or
Yeah.
whatever equivalent modern
Yes.
small block LT1 or whatever that thing's called.
Yeah.
Okay, second, not totally connected thing.
Mm-hmm.
We spent 2 days now over the course of a month working
Mm-hmm.
on your STI.
yes.
John's 2007
Yeah.
STI.
Well, I've spent more days than that, but yeah.
John
I've
has spent many hours.
Run into some hiccups.
I have helped
needed
him.
another pair of hands.
2 days. Trying to install
There's so many things I'm doing.
a number of things.
Yeah. Front mount intercooler, air oil separator. I'm doing the downpipe, but then I was like, I might as well do the shifter bushings too. First, I started with the front and rear shifter support bushings, and then now the shifter linkage bushings and the shifter pivot bushings. Yeah, just all the bushings in the shifter.
It just took me the bushing specifically, all that stuff. The car is going to have quite a bit of work done to it, but the shifter bushings specifically, like there's so many little like just stories wrapped up in those that I was kind of like laughing to myself about, where you start on something and it'll be like so simple. It's like, oh, it's like 3 bolts.
Yeah, totally.
It's like you drop this thing out.
Yeah,
It's like,
you're looking at it. You're even under the car and you're looking at it. And you're like, oh,
staring
it's
at it,
totally
yeah.
easy to swap that
and
out.
then it's like, so one of them is like, one story is like, oh, there's that thing. It's like, it'd be easier if I took the blankety blank off. But I'm pretty sure I can get to it without taking that thing off.
Yeah.
So
Let me get around this.
Yeah. And so you're like struggling against this thing. There's some bracket in the way. And you're just like struggling against this thing for like an hour or two.
Spend like 2 hours to save 10 minutes.
Trying to like undo this bolt with like your fingers at some weird angle. And you've got this like cut on your wrist that keeps rubbing on the heat shield or whatever. Until you're finally like, fuck, fine. I'll just take
that bracket off.
Take the stupid thing off to get to like the proper way or whatever. Like that's always fun. The other one that I think is really funny when you're working on a car is when you like, you're looking at the thing and there's kind of this moment where it's like, is this thing really broken enough for me to attempt to fix it?
I could just cut my losses.
Yeah, where it's like, you know what? Do I even need to go in here? Like you're holding the new part in your hand and the old one doesn't look that bad.
That's why I haven't, like, I bought those shifter bushings, like the first 2 that we put in,
right,
like almost a year ago. I've had them just sitting in a box, and I'm like, it's not. I mean, I know it's got the typical Subaru slop. I'm like, but it's fine. I can live with it. Plus, I knew it was going to be a pain in the ass to do it. But now I was like, oh, I'm taking the downpipe off though, which makes it so much easier to get to it.
Yeah, it's always fun. You're just staring at the thing, and it's working.
Yeah,
it's bolted together, and the car runs. And you're like, okay,
do I need to do this?
Here I go. The other funny thing is like, when you, God, there's so many. All of these things that I'm going over happen.
Yes,
these all happen.
Various stages,
various versions of this. Where the other part is like, all right, well, let me take this thing off, and you go to take a thing off that's in your way, and you break the other thing.
Oh yeah,
like you invented a new problem.
Yep.
Like you've now broken the heat shield mounting bracket, whatever. That wasn't the fucking thing you were working on, and now you have a new thing that you have to like fix. It's like, ugh. So like that sucks. The other one, the one I was really laughing about is you're trying to get the old part off to put the new part on, and there's a certain point where you're like trying to remove it the proper way or whatever. And there's a certain point where you're just like fucking Cortez
sacrifice.
burning his ships. And his troops have to fight where you're like, I don't care about the old part. I'm going to break the old part now. I'm going to fuck up the old part because I don't care.
Yeah, it's coming off.
It's coming off.
It's not going back on.
You've crossed the point of no return. It's like, fuck this thing. And you're like mangling it with vice grips, trying to get it off. It's like, you're committed now because you broke it.
That happened on the air oil separator.
You broke the thing. It's like, I'm in it now.
I'm in it another $60. It doesn't matter.
There's no turning back now because I broke the old one. Now I really have to get it out of there. I'm going to cut the damn thing out. Because there's one version of this is just like, it'd be really easy if I just cut this thing out. It's some wiring thing. It's like, I could just cut it out. The other one is just like, I'm just going to mangle this thing. You're pulling it out and you just get so fucking mad. You're mad at a car when you're like mad at the guy who like designed it.
Yeah.
Some imaginary
the guy
engineer. On the
fucking assembly line.
Why did you?
Why did you fucking torque this down so goddamn much?
You're just like, you're just heated at this person that may or may not exist. Why did you? You couldn't have.
You know I can't fit my hand there.
26, and you're doing it wrong. It was designed for the motor to be pulled out, and you're just the asshole trying to do it. It's like so funny. You get so mad, and you're cut up in all these weird ways. Like I wear gloves when I work on car, like latex gloves, just for a number of reasons. And it's funny when you've been going like some marathon car working thing and the gloves are all like gross and whatever. And then you pull them off and your hands are just gross anyway. It's like the gloves
didn't do anything.
The gloves have broken. And there's just grease everywhere anyways. It just did nothing.
Blood.
It's like, oh yeah, that's what that pain was. It's this like huge blister that you've developed that you didn't notice because you were wearing gloves. Oh man. The other one, lastly, the one that I really like is we went to Home Depot for a
Washer. A single washer.
Not a washer dryer.
No, just the a flat
yeah.
washer.
It's like we
Yeah.
needed a washer that we didn't have. And I was like, well, we better go get one. And so you're walking in there like, where's the washers?
Yeah.
People are like, well, where can I load my like 60 bags of concrete? Like, where's the washer?
Yeah, I need my 30 cents worth of washer, please.
You're holding a single washer. It's like so lame.
Yeah.
Or those car projects where you make like 18 trips to fucking O'Reilly's or Napa.
The person behind the counter already knows, like,
Yeah.
well, that you need the other, you need
didn't work.
the 4723, don't you? Like they already know.
Nah, just give me one of them. Then you're back. Like, yeah, give me the other one too.
Yeah.
Shut the fuck up. And you know exactly why I'm here, Carlos. Just
I don't want to go into it.
ring it up.
You already know what year and make and model of my car is.
Dirty. Yeah, there's nothing worse than like getting into your car to go to the parts store and you're all dirty coveralls, and it's like now your daily car is getting dirty too, like grabbing the dirty steering wheel. It's just the worst. Anyways, shifter bushings.
Awesome.
They're still not in.
No, they're in. They're just not. The shifter's not bolted up.
Yeah, we're close. We're
Someday.
so close.
Close.
I'll let you know.
We need to go. We need to go Home Depot and get some punches. Or whatever
The
the
next
hell.
track day is coming up, bro.
Yeah.
I'm trying to get it done before February.
I just want to point
That's
that
why I'm
out
starting
there.
early.
Yeah. So that shifter is going to be cherry.
It's going to be real nice.
crisp.
Yeah.
Spark plugs are. I had the car disassembled so much. I was like, oh, I might as well change the spark plugs. And
Yeah.
surprisingly, that actually went easy. That was the one thing I was like, I'm going to do it, and I did it.
Every once in a while, you will work on a car, and it's just like, wow.
Yeah.
Like
That actually one's
it doesn't have to.
But
go
like
wrong.
Subarus are like notoriously like those spark plugs. If those things suck to change, but
Yeah, every once in a while, I just like nail something. It's like, oh, cool. You like clean it up. That sounds good.
I'm really done.
That's not bad. Okay. Yeah. Usually, when I start working on a car, I just like stare at it for a half hour. I'm like, oh boy.
Call it it's time to call it a day.
It's gonna be a big. Am I really doing it today? You gotta like think about it. Okay, so there's a note on here. 2019 goals and plans for Car Bros.
Yeah, I just thought. Well, I guess technically last episode was the first of
First of the
28
year.
the year, but
yeah.
I don't know. Do we have like?
I think the only thing that is like noteworthy is that we are very possible nothing will come of this. Very.
As with many,
Let's call it likely, but we're gonna reach out to Netflix for an idea, at least one. We have
or a Netflix esque.
yeah,
Not
Yeah.
not Netflix.
Netflix or
specifically.
Amazon Prime.
Yeah,
I guess.
something of that vein.
We have an idea that could be suitable for something like that.
And it's a lot different than anything else we've done.
It's quite a bit different. It's still funny.
Yeah, very funny. I think.
But it would just be more appropriate
and
for
still
a
kind
platform
of
like
still
that.
kind of car related.
Yeah.
in a way.
You would enjoy it if you are in our audience.
Yes.
Right?
And-
but I think
and-
a lot of people would enjoy
And
it.
yeah, the idea is like you can know it's not necessarily a car.
Yeah, it's not like deep car.
Cars are part of it, but a very yeah.
Yeah, so we'll see. We'll keep you up to date on that.
Yeah.
But that'd be sweet. There's a chance.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not just like, well, we've got this like stupid idea.
Yeah, it's not like a pie in the sky.
Yeah, I
right?
think it could. I think it could happen. The other one is less developed, but we have a couple things that just need some money,
Right.
and a bit more
and
like
a lot
structure
and a lot of time. Well, essentially, they need to be realistic. They need like essentially full time.
Yeah.
commitment.
Well, they
Yes.
probably also need more than us.
Right.
More
Yeah.
than
Yeah.
three
At,
people.
like
They need-
starting, they need like full time.
At least a project team.
Yeah.
So we'll see. We'll if that doesn't work out, we'll just throw like a crappy version together and put it
Yeah.
online.
Right.
Just say this is what we were working
Yeah.
on or something.
This is
like
our
that.
failed.
But yeah, I'd say 2019. That's probably realistically our biggest 2019 goal.
Yeah.
In addition to continuing to do what we already
Yeah, our normal. Yeah, we still have. In addition to the stuff we're working on, we still have at least 5, 6 like pretty fleshed out ideas for video content.
And depending on how this like M5 Type R, this new style of video thing I'm working on, there could be others like that.
Yeah.
So that could be an ongoing thing. So we'll see.
And of course,
2019.
this highly successful podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which I think we'll
blockbuster
try to
podcast.
keep it going as long as
think
we
so,
as
yeah.
long as we
Yeah, I think so. As long as people are enjoying the podcast. I think as long as the audience stays above 500, realistically, I'm down to keep doing it.
Yeah.
And right now we're at about 700 or 800.
If it grows,
It'd be nice to go up.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm just
I think
saying.
if you're here, you're here.
I'm just saying. Yeah, it's held consistent. I don't think it'll go up until we start releasing at least some videos.
Yeah.
There's just no exposure.
Right.
Yeah. Continue to rate the podcast.
Yeah, it does help.
I forgot.
It
That
does help.
is supposedly the only way that our podcast will get
Post it,
spread
post it
around.
on
Get up there with the big boys.
Post it on forums
Yeah,
for us.
other than word of mouth. Also, we were talking about the era of auto shop.
Which we don't have personally
we
have
have
experience
no
with.
story yet.
Well, just the idea of it,
Yeah.
I guess.
Right.
We
Well,
were like a year.
Yeah, I remember like very specific.
They canceled it
We
the
were
year we were
literally like you could still. I remember like you could still see like
The old shop.
remnants.
Yeah.
Before they tore it down.
Right.
Of
Like
an auto
literally like the year before we started going to high school.
an auto shop at our high school.
Yeah.
Does anyone's high school?
Still doing?
I guess none of our listeners are in high school. Did your high school?
Did
have
you take
an
a break
auto
from
shop?
playing Fortnite?
Do your
and
kids?
Coach?
Did you take it? Yeah. Do your kids? High schools have a shop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because we missed out, and it sounded like it was fun. Because I knew some people. I think my brother.
Your brother
was
did
in
it, yeah.
And it was like this interesting mix of just like bad kids. It's like shop.
Right.
in
Well,
there.
yeah. Shop is the other thing that.
And kids who wanted to be in there.
Right.
But it sounded pretty sweet.
But this was like, oh yeah, we brought in my car and we did this. And
Yeah,
it's like
yeah,
what? Like you actually what?
Yeah.
It just seems so far. Like it seems like a completely different era. Like,
Yeah, that stuff all got cut. Wood shop, metal shop, auto shop.
Which sucks,
got,
right?
Cut pretty hard. I think like across the country, probably.
I wonder why.
I guess it's the first to go. If there's any kind of like budget,
Extracurricular,
whatever.
yeah.
Especially that.
Well, it wasn't extracurricular.
I mean,
I mean, like
that's
it was
considered
it-
over like English and math.
well, yeah, but I mean, when it existed, it was part of like
No.
Yeah, but it wasn't
your
core.
studies. No, yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, it wasn't true
Well, learn
extracurricular.
some art history or like some
Yeah, yeah.
bullshit.
No offense to any art.
No,
Yeah. Let us know. I guess that's more of like a call to does anyone.
I think it's like bitterness because we
Yeah, I was super
just
disappointed.
missed.
Yeah. We had to use our own cars like chumps.
Yeah.
Teach ourselves.
I mean, anyone that's seen the movie Grease know what went down in those high school auto shop
all I
classes.
know about.
A lot of dancing.
Yeah. We are just mad that we didn't get to be a part of that choreographed dance,
Right.
dance sequences and songs.
Yeah.
Lots of snapping.
Didn't have like a one car that we'd all take turns.
Yeah.
But yeah, I have a feeling it probably just doesn't exist. Like,
I doubt it.
Are they still out there?
yeah, like even in whatever Wisconsin or whatever.
Yeah.
Right.
That'd be funny if there were like nice schools that had auto shop
Yeah.
or something like super
I brought
high end.
my Tesla in and we
Turn some wrenches.
yeah.
That reminds me of my friend Tim. Hey Tim. What's
up, Tim?
What's up, Tim? Also a podcast listener and patron.
Damn.
He was talking about he's like, when I was a kid, we used to have like posters of like Ferraris and stuff on the wall. Like we used to fantasize about like supercars,
Right.
basically. It's like, sounds like when you guys were kids, you just kind of fantasized about like average cars. And now that you're a bit older, you can like own those cars. It's like,
Good point.
he was like, I was more into things that like I never would be able to own. And you guys are into stuff that
Keep Got to keep her expectations
you
low.
could own. Yeah, I was like, yeah, that's kind of true. Like, I don't know. I thought that was funny and true.
Yeah,
I guess it is true. I've never really fantasized about exotic cars.
Yeah.
That's never really been my thing.
No, me
Not to
neither.
say I don't appreciate them, but and I mean they're awesome. We never
Right.
pass up a chance to drive one. But I don't like lust after them.
I think the other thing is weird. I actually someone the other day asked me like, "What's your dream car?"
Yeah.
And I've I don't think I've ever had a
Yeah,
dream car.
I've never really had a dream car.
I think it's like I like cars too much to have a dream
Just
car.
one dream car. Yeah.
Like this one specific car is like that's the, like I've never had that.
Even the question like if you could own any car, I mean, I guess that's the same thing as a dream car.
It's like,
but it's
I don't know. Whatever one's the most expensive. Like I don't know what you're supposed to say.
I would say my dream car is 911R.
Yeah,
I got a chance to drive one, and it just blew my mind. And it's super expensive, and I'll probably never own one. I don't know, but it's like that would be one.
It's not that expensive.
I dream about it.
Well, I guess the fact that it's rare makes it expensive.
Yeah, it shouldn't
like,
be expensive.
Yeah.
It's funny though, because all the cars that I like lust after, I could own like tomorrow. They'd just be terrible financial decisions.
Yeah.
It's like almost all the cars I'm really into are just like I'm so into them because they're realistic.
Right.
It's like, oh man, I really shouldn't take out a big loan
Yeah,
or
buy
like,
that,
blow all my money on that car. And it's like that's part of the allure. Is like
it's attainable.
Yeah, they are attainable. They're literally attainable. You just really shouldn't do it. That'd be a bad decision.
Eating ramen noodles.
It's like how could I make this work? It's like no, that's not.
Yeah, for me, it's just like I've never been able to like channel it into one car. Like it seems like
you've also like changed cars like 6 months to 8 months.
That's part of it, but
like,
we're just like, and they're all so different from each other.
Right.
Yeah.
I can't just like, oh, like Ferrari Enzo. Like, all I can do is think about that car.
Yeah, just that one.
Yeah.
I
don't even think I'm like capable
and
of that.
cars just keep getting so much better. It's like there's nothing new where it's like the next one doesn't just
make it immediately.
Yeah. So,
although GT350R is like your aforementioned like
realistic dream car.
Yeah, at least as far as modern cars go.
Yeah, I'd like to own one of those.
Yeah.
I see myself owning one of those though in the next 5 or 10 years.
Right.
Like it's gonna happen.
Yeah.
It's probably hopefully they go down in price a little bit.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll see. Anyways, I thought that was a funny comment. He was talking to me about that.
And then when I saw that, actually, like I wasn't sure if like what I was thinking about is like when you're an actual kid, like when you're like 5 to 10 years old, like the cars that you like are, for me at least, it was like so like a conversion van. like I remember my parents had a friend that had a conversion van.
What is that?
Like like a Chevy or Ford van where they have like TVs and like captain's chairs.
Oh,
like like a nice
small
plush
RV kind of.
I mean, it wasn't an RV. It's just like it's essentially like what like a luxury SUV would be nowadays.
Van.
Yeah, just like, dude, like you can watch TV like in this.
Yeah, kids' ideas of cars are just like it's like a playhouse.
Exactly. Yeah.
That, but other
it's like,
things.
dude, you can like put in a videotape and watch this while you're like driving down the road.
That's why like I always like was jealous of my friend who had like an RV. Like he literally had an RV. And I was like, dude, you can go to bed. Like you can go to sleep while your parents are driving. Like that's so awesome. Rather than having to sit in the back seat of the Suburban.
I think it's because driving is.
You don't care.
Underrated.
Right?
Yeah.
And then it was that, and then the station wagon with the rear facing back seat.
Yeah. We had my mom had a Volvo station wagon with that. Yeah.
I remember like one of our neighbors had a Taurus wagon, and she would like take us to school. Yeah. It's like, dude, you could just sit in the back and like
totally look at everyone else and wave at them and stuff.
Sweet.
That's my dream car. Taurus wagon.
That's why
poster.
A forest green '94 Taurus wagon.
Damn, I've had it on my wall.
That's my dream car.
That's my dream. I just wouldn't want to sink myself financially. Pull the trigger on that $1,800.
Damn, rear facing way back seats are sweet.
Yeah.
Fucking face to face with the guy behind you. And
you're like 3 feet away from the other driver.
Or actually, remember my dad had it? Didn't we? Remember like when we were in high school, my dad had that like Plymouth, like a 60. It was like a 66 Plymouth wagon.
Riding in that.
I do, yeah.
And it had like the 9-passenger.
Yeah.
And, like so, it was just like 3 like 16-year-olds just staring back.
Maybe
at like
do.
that's just like a recipe for like bad things.
Yeah, it's one thing when it's like kids in the way back, when you have like adults back there.
Or just like teenage, just like imagine being the guy in like whatever car that's like trying not like not pay attention to like the 3 teenagers just like staring right at him.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna mind my own business and look
Eye contact.
I'm just looking at my rearview mirror.
like you can't, like you literally you can't look straight ahead.
You gotta like turn to the side.
Oh yeah,
See what else is going on.
It's teens. Yeah.
We should get a wagon.
I think that's the takeaway here.
Yeah,
Should get one of those. Okay, so the maybe biggest topic of this podcast just in general, how maybe part of it is the dichotomy, but like just in general, how fucked California is.
Oh, yeah.
Cars,
Which I was wondering
but
if we
also
should.
how good it is.
I was wondering like if we should even talk about this because obviously most people that listen to this are not California residents.
Oh, actually, a lot of them are.
Are they?
Yeah.
California and Texas.
You've been okay. That's good. Well, it's two opposite places in terms of like being car friendly.
Yeah.
But just like how it's like California is made out to be this place where like car culture lives,
Yeah.
Yeah.
but it kind of like they don't really want it to be like that.
Yeah.
At least the politicians.
Yeah. Which I don't know, like it just bothers me like all the time.
Yeah. Worst smog laws. No safety inspection. That part's pretty sweet.
Right. Yeah.
But as far as like importing old stuff, can't do it.
Yeah, like well, I think the thing is like right now, since whenever it's 25, right?
25 year,
like
yeah.
whenever that started, or I guess it's always been there, but like when people started being able to import like cool,
Yeah, it's getting into cool years.
like every magazine website's like, here's all the cars you can import like next year or whatever, like blah blah blah. And it's like if you live in California, like no, like,
Except California.
except if you don't live in this like the biggest, most car crazy state. If you live in any of the other states, yes.
Yeah. And anytime you do see something cool that is imported, like a R32 Skyline or
Out of
something,
state.
like Oregon plate,
98% of the time,
like,
it like any right-hand drive Japanese or European car you see in California will have out-of-state plates on it.
yeah, because that's just the easier
Because
way to do it.
it technically it's possible to.
Yeah.
There's a couple people that have we said we have this thing called CARB, California Air Resources Board, which essentially oversees all vehicle emissions related
stuff.
policy, whatever. So if you want to drive a car that wasn't originally sold in the US, it essentially has to be converted by like the CARB certified lab.
Yeah, to something that would have been sold in California.
I don't know. I don't know exactly what the process is, but it's very expensive.
Right.
Like I think on a GTR, it costs like 10 grand.
Yeah, at least.
And they take your car away for like months, like literally like 3 to, I don't know, I think like 3 months, your car's just gone.
But then it's legal.
Yeah. And then when you get it back, it's the same as.
Yeah, as it was.
I mean, I don't know what exactly
Half the
they
value
do.
of the car
Right.
on doing that.
Or you could just travel 100 miles across the state line when there's no, I don't know.
Yeah, or you go to Nevada.
Yeah.
I don't care.
Or Oregon, which is also another progressive green state, which doesn't require you to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of messed up.
So
So we're just like sitting by watching all these cars we want to own
yeah.
not be ownable.
And we've talked about like, man, we should just like, and the sad thing is it's happened. Well, essentially we should go back because it's that and any car newer than 1975 needs to have a emissions inspection.
Every 2 years.
Yeah, every 2 years.
Yeah.
And it's essentially, I mean, it's very strict on what you can and can't do.
Yeah.
Modification, it's extremely strict.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, it has to pass a dyno.
Yeah, I guess, well, theoretically you can, there's a lot of things
Well, the new ones don't.
Yeah, but up through 1975 through 2000, you have to pass a rolling.
yeah. I mean,
They don't roll the SDI. They just hook it up to the computer.
Oh, because it's all-wheel drive.
Well, no, I think it's just because it's OBD2.
Yeah, because it's 2000 or newer. That's what I said, 1975 through 2000.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Yeah.
Yes.
yeah, there's things you can do. Like you can swap, an LS motor into an 80s,
Yeah.
whatever. But if you want to make it legal, it's way harder and way more expensive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Essentially to do any of that stuff. And these are not cars that are driven every day.
Yeah.
Usually in 99%
Cars
of the
that
time.
really aren't part of any kind of like
Any substantial
emissions problem
Right.
or anything. They're not really
and there
contributing.
have been numerous like at one point it was a rolling. I think it was 20.
Yeah, for like
it was like
year.
25 or 30. No, for like maybe I think for more than a year. But for whatever reason they stopped it at 75.
Dude, I think it was like 3 years. Because for a while it was 74. 73.
I remember it was 70. I remember at one point it was like 67 or something.
really?
Probably way back in like the 80s or
Yeah,
90s.
then for a long time it was
I know.
73.
Yeah, and then it was
smog.
Yeah, so I think
74 you did.
Yeah, so for a couple years
and
it
then
was
we
like
got 2 extra years.
Right.
Yeah,
And then-
74 and 75, and then they stopped it.
like, can you imagine the fucker that?
Yeah.
Oh, this is the guy that's like, no, this needs to stop.
Yeah.
There's too many like
For what
60s.
reason, too?
Yeah.
Like, oh, there's too many.
Yeah.
76 cars on the road polluting.
Yeah.
Like, really? When was the last time you saw anything from the 80s being driven daily
Yeah.
still?
So anyway, and the sad thing is, since whenever they stopped it, there's been several, probably like a dozen, maybe like pieces of legislation that have been
attempts.
like, where it's like either reinstate the rolling or like, bump it up. I think just 2 years ago, there was one that they tried to move it to 81. I think it was 81.
They're like,
Still-
nope.
And not only that, and it was like 81, and you need to show like that the car is not, that you need to have like collector.
Like it's a second
insurance that it's not, that this
Yeah.
car is not your, and like, nope, like whatever, 20 people just like, nope.
Yeah. You probably won't be able to get anything through.
And the way things are going, not to make this political or anything, but just like now more than ever, it seems like even like asking for a little bit of leeway,
Yeah, it's probably not going to happen.
it's like it's only going to get worse.
Yeah. Garrett is toying with the idea of
So no, we've like
Launch some-
we've like talked about like, oh, we should like contact a state assemblyman, and essentially we thought like essentially what you need to do is give the state money, because California is kind of notorious for being the most expensive for everything.
You mean if something were to pass?
Yeah, where you would get exemption if the car is not driven a lot and you pay an extra fee.
Yeah, $200 a year extra.
Right,
or
whatever it
something,
is.
which I would pay.
I think most people would.
Yeah. If it let you drive whatever you want.
Well, just not
keep it road legal,
not have to be essentially be able to enjoy or import a car that everyone in every other 49 states can do.
I wonder how that stuff will change as gas-powered cars become less. Because there's going to be a point where gas-powered cars are truly just hobby devices.
Yeah, well, that'll be a long. That's probably like, I don't think that'll be in our lifetime.
Oh, you think so? Man, I think
When they're
that's like-
just hobby devices?
I think that's like 25 years.
I don't think it'll be that soon.
Really?
Not when you think about all the trucks and everything.
Yeah, that's a good point. Well, either way, that is probably the biggest bummer about being a car guy in California.
And it's one of the things like you try to forget about it and then you just get bummed out again.
Yeah.
Like I was on like a forum the other day and I said like, here's my, like, check out what I got. Like it's like an R31 Skyline, which is like a neat car. But it's like,
those are cool.
you can probably buy one for 10 grand for like a nice one. It's like, or unless you live in California, then
Yeah.
no,
Then you can't.
no,
Then
you
you
can't. Yeah. So fuck the state.
Which reminds me of, what year was that Skyline? We almost bought a Skyline at one point.
That was a long time ago.
Yeah, Ken Mary, as they are known.
Yeah.
70.
I think it was, I want to say
Late
it's like, I
70s?
think it was like 73 to 77.
I want to say it was a 75.
Yeah, it was an earlier.
I don't
earlier
know.
one.
Yeah, so the 75 Skyline, I don't think it was a GTR.
No, definitely not. No, GTR, they only made like
10
less than
100
100
or
of them.
something.
Yeah.
But it's still a 75 Skyline.
And it was a 2-door. The one that kind of looks, if you're not familiar, it's the one that kind of looks like a small,
like a little
like
Camaro.
a Dodge Charger, like
Yeah.
fastback almost.
Yeah, they look
kinda
kind of
thing.
neat.
Yeah.
Here's a picture.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry, John. 75
Yeah.
Skyline. We almost bought one for what, like 3,500?
Yeah, I think it was like less than $5,000. I know for
was
sure.
pretty
I think it was like, it was on.
How long ago was that? This was
This is high.
This was, no, I think it was like a little after. This was probably like
okay.
We were probably
05 or 06 or something.
so we were probably like 20.
Yeah.
And I remember between the two of us, we were going to buy. We were going to pool our money
Yeah,
together.
it was like $4,200 or something. We should buy this.
Yeah.
And it was the car was in the U.S. I think it was
Yeah.
like at like a Navy base or something.
Yeah, right in drive.
It wasn't that nice. It was like a sort of like driver-ish.
Yeah.
It wasn't like a nice restored car or
Yeah,
anything.
but it's pretty sweet.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
We probably should have.
Yes. Yes.
Should have bought it. That's a bummer.
Yeah.
because that would have been fine, right? You can drive something that old.
I think. Yeah. I think.
You said it was 75, so.
Yeah, but
Yeah, I don't know. It's kind of the law is kind of funky, but I think you'd be
that
all
kind of
right.
stuff.
Yeah. But yeah, and then lo and behold, of course, those things just fucking blew up. Yeah.
Did they even those? Even
Oh yeah. Well,
anything
yeah.
anything of that age. I think there is. Here's a business idea I have, which I someday hope to do, but if I don't get to it, feel free to steal it from me. Just give me credit.
Yeah. And money.
I think there's room for a old Japanese singer. Basically, what a singer is doing to air-cooled Porsches, someone could step in and do to old Japanese stuff.
Yeah.
At a minimum, old Skylines, but probably 510s and 240Zs. I had this idea before 240Zs and 510s blew up, and now that I see them blowing up, it's like, well, those would probably work too. But just anything like cool, old Japanese to take and do extremely cool, high-quality versions of those cars. And they probably end up costing, a couple $100,000.
Yeah, you're talking modified, like tastefully,
but extremely tasteful.
Yeah, restrained,
reliable. Yeah,
restrained, reliable, extreme attention to detail,
like really high quality materials,
extremely high quality materials, and extremely low production.
Yeah,
and maybe even a little bit of custom stuff. Which, as I talk about it, it's like I don't really want to. It's a lot of work. I don't want my life's work to be like some cars.
Custom Datsun.
The idea I had was you get a 510 and you do basically this to it. I think there's a market for a 510 that's about $50,000. And I was thinking S2000 motor, but it could be something else. And you just go through and you get it right. You do the whole thing right. And then you copy whatever you did. You spend a year and kind of build it exactly the way you want it.
And you build like a brand image.
And you do it to one, and then you paste it 5 times.
Yeah.
You find 5 more straight bodies, and you just paste it, and then maybe alter the color or something. And you just do a run of 5, and you sell those 5, and it pays for the one.
Right.
Plus maybe some profit, a bit. But it's that kind of production thing. Because as I talk about, like, and then you do custom ones and whatever, it's like, I don't really want to run like a car business, but like, I like the idea of making like 20 cars total out of 3 or 4 different models. Yeah. And they're just sort of out there.
Right. Yeah, I think the thing is that none of it would be doing anything that someone hasn't done.
No.
It would just be like refining it to...
Yeah. It's refined. It's consistent. There's like a flavor to it. And I just like the idea of there's 5 of them that are identical. There is a thing that is that, and there are multiple of them, rather than just like one time I swapped a thing and it had Sparkos. It's not it's a project car finished.
Yeah. But like finished, there's like no like gremlins and shit like that.
There's no gremlins, and it's a lot of custom work and a lot of like really nice little details.
Yeah, and some of it will like be like almost overdone a little bit.
Yeah, I think that's kind of the fun of it.
Yeah, like you're putting way more attention to detail than this car ever would have had. Yeah, from the factory.
Yeah, I think that formula. I'm surprised no one's really done that, or maybe they are, and I'm just not paying attention.
It seems to work for Singer.
Yeah, while Singer it's not like, oh, why doesn't someone else? It's like it's hard to do what they're doing. Yeah. They have very smart people and very talented designers.
And a lot of people that want to pay, essentially.
And there's a market.
Endless. Well, I mean.
But those cars are so expensive.
Yeah.
Those cars are crazy.
It's like we've kind of talked about, it's like the ultimate, like, I'll just say it, like, kind of the ultimate jacking off of it.
The ultimate jerk-off mobile.
Kind of.
A Singer Porsche probably is.
Not that I don't like them. They're fucking... I mean, and you can't look at it and say that it's not sweet, but like...
Even a non-car person would love that.
The idea of it is like, here's kind of a basic car, like, massaged to like such an extreme level and such an extreme price point that like, Singer.
Yeah, they're pretty cool. But I've heard the super pimped out versions of those are close to $1 million.
Oh yeah,
and the waiting list is probably nuts.
That's crazy. Yeah.
On those. So yeah, I mean, I can't even like think in those dollars.
But I think it shows that there's that many people that would pay $1 million for a car that.
Well, and at that level, you don't need 100,000 people.
Yeah, right.
With it's like you're not making a Model T.
Right.
So I don't know. Damn. Random thoughts.
2019 goals.
Yeah, 2019 goals. Anyways,
Get the factory going.
all of that circling around 2019 goals. Maybe
establish a new car brand.
Yeah, we'll let you know. Maybe we'll push them to 2020.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyways, I think that was pretty good.
Yep.
Thank you for being here. Let us know any thoughts you have. Love all the comments and feedback. That stuff's fun. I also like the people who, one of my favorite comments is when people say, I've never commented on a video before.
Right.
Here it is.
But
You
blah.
suck.
It's like,
fucking suck.
cool, you stepped out of the shadows.
Sure.
I have literally never commented on a video on the internet ever.
I don't think I have either.
I don't even have to hesitate to think if I ever did. I just never have. I just don't do that. And so hats off to the people who make the step. The
type the keys.
Hello. Hello to you. Anyways, thanks for being here. Don't forget to rate this podcast on iTunes because that does
share
help.
it. Yeah. Spread the word.
Tell your other homies about it. Thanks again to our patrons. Thanks to all of you for listening if you made it this far. And see you next time.
See you next week.
Bye.
Bye-bye.